Hey guys, it's 21 Maxwell here, and welcome to the TEW 2003 save. As you know, this is the first week we are doing it a little bit different. There isn't going to be individual videos for on SmackDown anymore. This is this week, basically in WWE, as we document both Raw and SmackDown on the same episode. So we'll dive straight into Monday Night Raw, where we have Triple H, Batista, Ric Flair, Randy Orton and Booker T trading in words. This is basically Evolution laughing at Booker T because obviously they've had Goldust suspended. He's out at the moment. He might not even make WrestleMania, and they're just berating him to potentially set up a big match in the main event. But Evolution are just gloating how they own Monday Night Raw. A very solid B plus 84, allowing Booker T, Ric Flair and Triple H to have the freedom to enjoy going off script and performing well. Show got off to a strong start. He got the crowd hotter. Triple H looking like a star. Randy looking dreadful. So it's all about helping him develop as well. But the legacy storyline was set and advanced, gaining some heat. Next up, we had our extremely short match where the Great One, The Rock, the new Raw superstar, take on the Hurricane. He wins in 2 minutes and 16 with a rock bottom. Convincing win for the People's Champ, AC59. Rock came across looking good. Hurricane with 48 to The Rock's 94. Does the job. It was a storytelling match just to make the Great One look like $1 million. Of course, the reason for this was after he defeats the Hurricane and starts mocking the Hurricane, calling him the Hamburglar and all that kind of stuff. We've got Austin come out and just run a verbal beatdown on the People's Champion. They know that in 2 weeks' time it is going to be the final encounter. It is going to be The Rock versus Austin at WrestleMania 19 in what should be a spectacular occasion. A-star 97. I did want to make this the main event, but could you really make Hurricane v The Rock the main event of the match-wise? So that's why it is swelling the card, but these two will continue to do battle. Of course, we don't know how the mod's going to go. Does The Rock go to Hollywood? Does Austin just retire after it? Or do we get to keep them in the long run, along with such a thriving roster that the WWE had at this time? Remains to be seen. Next up, we've got an alliance of 2 female wrestlers. I suppose we call them divas at this point, as Divas territory. But anyway, Jazz and Molly Holly, they're going to be together, allies in their match next, which is going to be them taking on Trish Stratus and Jacqueline in tag team competition. A C59. Yeah, looking to get Molly right in amongst the women's championship kind of stuff, probably post WrestleMania. The tag match itself didn't have much heat. Had terrible wrestling, and it was a team of Molly and Jazz defeating Jackie and Trish in 9:07 when Molly defeated Jacqueline the Molly go round. In terms of match performance, Trish carried the match. She had a 58 to everyone else's 38, so a lot of building up for Molly Holly and Jazz as well. Jacqueline, as I say, more so put people over. Disappointingly, Molly and Jazz had no chemistry, so that hampered them in terms of their performance. So that's disappointing, knowing that we can't really put them as a tandem. But a D plus 52 is still pretty respectable. Jazz is increasing her performance and technical skills, which is good as well. Few negatives, holding backs. This was going to be storytelling as well. But the women's division, or the Divas division at this time, certainly was in transition. You know, there's a lot of things we need to do and take it a different direction from where WWE did at this time. Next up, we've got a hype video just promoting the dominant tag team on Raw. Of course, that is Rose and Jamal. 3-minute warning, as I say. They're going to get the mega push even further than they got in real life with me, so we'll see what happens, but I say D plus 51. And then it's a triple threat match. Decent matchup. Saw Jamal defeat Devon Dudley and William Regal in 9:54 when Jamal defeated Regal with a Samoan spike. He was the weak link. C65 is very impressive. The reason I'll say that is this was having me to protect Devon and William Regal to put Jamal over. But Regal gets to 72, off his game as well. Jamal with a 47, so a long way to go for Rose and Jamal to get over, but really promising as both guys were willing to do that, and how good that match would have been if they'd put them over. Not strong. Next up, we've got Eric Bischoff and Raven together. Really what this is just Raven saying, you know, Sunday Night Heat has been my personal playground. Of course, I've been booking heat off video, and it's just like Bischoff saying you're doing a great job, and maybe one day you can come back to the main roster and run right here. So they can have a handshake and a B plus 88 to end the segment. We've then got the couple of WWE now. Of course, that is Terry, who's been flirting with Randy Orton, and they're just showing kind of flirting in that backstage. Nature Boy helped Orton. I don't know why, but apparently that's what he done. But a C60 here, just building up, that little affair that's been going on with Terry and Randy, and of course, her ex Goldust is very, very frustrated, hence why he attacked Randy Orton to get, as I say, sent home. And yeah, it's just hopefully adding more fuel to the fire. Decent match up next. We had Mark Henry defeat Renault in 7:39, C plus 70. Of course, Mark Henry's very poor in ring at this time, so we're going to try and get him with as many good workers and overworkers to try and help develop him into the athlete and the entertainer that he then became. So, still a poor matchup. It's disappointing that stamina and low morale was going to affect him back then, but hopefully, as I say, we can build it up, we can build his psychology up, and we can turn him into that world's strongest champion at one point. Further along then hypes up coming matchup between Mark Henry and Kane. Whether they fight again is unsure. They may go head to head at WrestleMania, but the main thing is it's just a buy rating of Kane by Theodore Long. I'm not saying it, he will beat his ass again. And that was a D plus 51. Next up, we had a decent matchup that saw Christian defeat Spike in 11:40 with Unprettier. Straightforward match, again giving the likes of Christian a bit more momentum going into WrestleMania as we think of plans for them. I'm unsure if I'm going to bring in the Money in the Bank concept just now or what we do with that, or we wait to WrestleMania 20. But a C plus 69 regardless. Christian, a better performer. And yeah, usual negatives there. We need to, of course, build up that locker room morale. Then of Triple H hyping his match up at WrestleMania with Shawn Michaels, he says he's going to make his life a living hell before they get to WrestleMania. Massive friends, big feud last year. They've never had that WrestleMania matchup, and he says it's just going to be the greatest match of all time, but he's going to beat the shit out of them, basically. And that's a B plus 87. Triple H looks good, and the cementing a legacy storyline gains a bit of heat. And the main event match was very good as well, which is promising. It was a good matchup that saw Booker T, Kane and Shawn Michaels defeat Ric Flair, Batista and Randy Orton of Evolution in 1810 when Booker T defeated Randy Orton by pinfall with the scissors kick following botched interference by Triple H. To see in terms of in-ring, HBK a mile ahead of everyone. Kane was pretty good as well, but good to see these kind of ratings for the ever-developing Orton and Batista, who had 61 and 57s respectively. Both storylines gain a bit of heat, which is good to see as well. Both Booker, Batista, increased performance skills, and yeah, just a few negatives there. But again, these kind of matches you hope can help add to the psychology stat of Batista to help him in the long run. And when the show, massive brawl, the 4 men of Evolution taking on Booker T, Kane and Shawn Michaels as we fade to black and end the show with a B81. Show was a very successful B plus 87. I'm going to put a lot of that down to that main event match, so well done to them for delivering, and it increases our popularity in 31 regions. So that's good. As I say, the company will continue to grow. As I say, that'll be a thing as well, but it's more so just pushing people from the mid card through to the main event. Let's quickly have a look here. And yep, I was going to bring in Father James Mitchell as a manager for 6 months, so that deal is done. Looking to continue Dean Malenko as a road agent, extend Kane's contract. Drug testing, that's cool. There was obviously a lot more back then. A 2133 TV rating. The Rock doesn't like Randy Orton? What? No way. What I want to check on the basis of that as well was just my best show. So we aren't that too far behind. The 2172 is the best rating so far. So that's the kind of Stats we're looking at this moment in time, pay-per-view wise, we've only had obviously the 2 shows, but the Rumble had a very decent 2.15 back then. So we'll carry on anyway. As I say, it is going to be a kind of 2-part video, so I'll end it just now, and hopefully we have a very good SmackDown to rival it. Here we are, guys. We are now on to SmackDown live from the Idaho Centre. We get 12,279 fans in attendance. We start the show off with Team Heyman, of course, Paul Heyman, A-Train, and the Big Show. They've got some threatening words for Brock Lesnar, so they're kind of dueling with words here, setting up later on tonight, I believe, a match between Brock Lesnar and the A-Train, as of course we closed in WrestleMania. Brock struggled going off script. Heyman improvised well. It seems the only person that did, from the wrestler side of view, that done well with the off script was basically the Big Show. But overall, it's decent. There's going to be a long way to go with the A-Train as well, so hopefully we can get them going places. But the show got off to a strong start, crowd got hotter, and a good way to start this episode of SmackDown. Next up, we had a bikini contest between Tori Wilson and Dawn Marie, ensuring we filled our quota of 2 attractive females on the show. Angle got the crowd hotter again. Tori Wilson came across well for a C+ 68. I know I continually use them in this fashion, but it's basically what I limited at the moment because SmackDown doesn't really have a women's division. Next up in a terrible matchup, it was Nunzio who defeated Funaki in 6-13 with the Arrivederci. D44, the crowd were killed a little bit between this, but we have to build Nunzio up from the beginning, so he had just a better in-ring performance than Funaki, who improved his performance skills, storytelling match of the show as well. And after it, basically, Nunzio, Chuck Palumbo, standing beside him, he's muscle, he's got the full-blooded Italians there, and they're running down the Cruiserweight champion, Billy Kidman. So let's say D45 there, as we continue where we're going to go in the Cruiserweight division. Speaking of Cruiserweights, more action and a poor matchup. Jamie Noble defeated Crash Holly in 8:22 by illegally using the ropes for leverage, so a great start to the show for the heels. D+50, again building up Jamie Noble with a good victory over Crash Holly. Nothing really to speak about there apart from let's try to get as many contenders in position for WrestleMania. Expanding the Cruiserweight division even more, we've got Matt Hardy dropping down there, and he cuts a promo on Rey Mysterio, who they're going to face one-on-one next. It's basically him saying he's the biggest Cruiserweight, and he's going to have no time swatting flies out the sky like Rey Mysterio. So C+70, the angle got the crowd hotter, and the Cruiserweight storyline advances, gaining a bit of heat here. We then have a promo from Eddie and Chavo Guerrero, Los Guerreros, and they're just kind of saying, they're tag team champions, but they're getting kind of frustrated, with how things are going. They want to make sure they're on that card at WrestleMania. So let's say B-71. We are going to turn them face basically because we don't really have any face tag teams, and I believe they did turn face round about this time, if I'm not mistaken. We then go back to the matchup between Rey and Matt Hardy, where we obviously had that little break there, and it was about had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, and Rey Mysterio defeats Matt Hardy in 11:55 with a 619. B-76, Rey with a good performance there, and it's really heating up in this Cruiserweight division. Rey Mysterio improves his performance skills. It's going to be an epic battle between many Cruiserweights at WrestleMania. Next up in a decent matchup, we had Edge and Tajiri defeat John Cena and the Big Boss Man, when Edge defeated the Boss Man with a spear after 12:08, a B-76. You can see there the two wrestlers that are going to be pushing the future, Edge and John Cena, but don't rule out Tajiri. But we are likely to bring in the US title for SmackDown at WrestleMania and the IC for Raw. So this is building up, is it going to be Cena versus Edge, or is it going to be Benoit versus Cena? I've yet to decide. But overall, decent matchup, done its job. We then had that tag match from it was hyped up earlier on, and the decent matchup saw Los Guerreros defeat Ron, Simmons and Rikishi in 10:29, when Chavo defeated Ron Simmons with a Gory Bomb. C+70, pretty decent, as I say. Simmons and Rikishi were going to try and phase out. Gives a good victory for the Guerreros here and continues to make them look really strong. So look there, a couple of skill improvements, and of course Eddie carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. And after the matchup, they're attacked by Team Angle. So Team Angle putting a hit out on Eddie and Chavo Guerrero. They want their tag titles. That was a C62, and this is where we turn Eddie and Chavo face, just to get that over and done with pretty quickly. So both turns should go pretty well. As I say, that hopefully makes our tag roster a bit more balanced on the SmackDown brand. Next up, after it hyped in the opener about the great wrestling and good heat, saw Brock Lesnar defeat the A-Train in 13-16 with F5. Brock continues to be as dominant as ever with a good victory, B-73. Heyman doing some good work at ringside. The match had no psychology, so we need to try and keep them apart, but it's trying to find the guys that do psychology and don't. Hopefully, it's to say we can get Brock learning psychology as he develops in his career, but a great performance that regardless, and it continues the Heyman storyline. Probably took it down from it, I'd say maybe a bit of solid B, an 82, so we did lose a good bit with the psychology. After the matchup, Big Show and A-Train beat the crap out of Brock, so that's a B plus 84, and the numbers game pays dividend. But someone is there to save Brock Lesnar, and it is of course the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan. He's drinking milk, he's eating his vitamins, whatever, taking his vitamins, whatever. He's showing these two what he can do. Big boots galore, leg drops galore, chases them off, and we are going to have a match at WrestleMania. Going to be Brock Lesnar and Hulk Hogan versus A-Train and the Big Show. We finished the show because we didn't have a successful contract signing when Stephanie was in charge. Vince McMahon decides he's going to take it. They actually get the match done, it's official, but Angle tries to attack the Undertaker. The Undertaker, again, doesn't allow Kurt Angle to get the one-upsman, and he gives him a last ride through the table. So A99, the storyline continues and gains heat between Angle and the Undertaker going into WrestleMania, and we end the show with a B82, increasing our pop in 15 regions. So not the greatest show in the world, but a lot more of WrestleMania is built up, and I've got a solid card written out that we are going to be working towards. So we'll quickly jump in to the main screen to see what we've got here. Iceberg's re-signing, that's cool. Don't think there's anything here that directly affects us. SmackDown was decent. Tajiri isn't charismatic. Nah, you're alright, Hulk Hogan. I'll quite happily keep him in decent amount of drug testing fees. But overall, good show. I'm happy with it. It keeps us on the upward spiral to WrestleMania. And as I say, we've got a good card to look forward to. So thank you for watching, guys. It's been deeply appreciated. I hope you enjoyed the new format of This Is the Weekend WWE. As I say, it was just to stop congesting the amount of videos I was putting out. As I say, if we put it all into one, it doesn't mean we're ending up with like 4 or 5 videos to catch up on. It kind of narrows it down by one and keeps the whole series close to each other. So I hope you're a fan of that new format. Let us know what you thought of both shows, what your predictions are for the Mania card, because obviously some matches haven't been confirmed. Who have you got? Have you got Kurt Angle retaining the WWE Championship and breaking the streak, or shall I continue the streak because I could throw an early curveball? Who knows? But just watching, guys, much appreciated, and I'll see you next week for the next week in WWE. The Evolution will be televised. Bye bye.